The Academy Awards for 1999 films were handed out in March 2000, and even the turn of the millennium couldn't keep old Hollywood enemies from picking a new fight. Just as they did the previous year, Steven Spielberg's DreamWorks Pictures and Harvey Weinstein's Miramax Films spent millions competing for the Best Picture Oscar. DreamWorks' entry was American Beauty, starring Kevin Spacey and Annette Bening. The characters they played may have been miserably unhappy, but the actors themselves were thrilled at the opportunity to add to their Oscar memories.
When I went to the Academy Awards for the first time, I was in the car with my mother and family and friends, and you know, I grew up like all of us, sort of watching those pre-Oscar shows, you know, that stuff they do in the beginning, and we had a television in the car, and we were sort of watching that as we drove, and I just thought, this is just surreal. You know, there's a certain, it's part of it's silly and part of it's quite wonderful, but you try to balance the yin with the yang about any of those kind of things that have become part of our folklore.
I was nominated once, and the women that were all nominated in my category agreed before the award was announced that whoever won would take everybody out to dinner the next week. So when I was nominated, Whoopi Goldberg won. And indeed, the next week I got a card, I got a big bouquet of flowers from her and a card saying, meet at such and such a hotel. So we all met together. We didn't know each other, you know, a bunch of actresses. We had so much fun, and I have a chocolate Oscar from Whoopi Goldberg. And I also got a gardenia, so I got a lot. I made some friends.
Miramax put its marketing muscle behind the Cider House Rules, which starred up-and-comers Charlize Theron and Tobey Maguire. The younger stars may have brought in the audience at first, but it was veteran Michael Caine who won the most enthusiastic raves, and he was the odds-on favorite to pick up his second Best Supporting Actor award. Oddly enough, Caine's heaviest competition came from the youngest actor nominated, Haley Joel Osment in the surprise hit of the year, The Sixth Sense.
The people that I work with, they're usually nice. They treat me like I'm an adult with them, and I'm glad. I like working with people that nice, and it just makes it work so much easier.
And Osment had nothing but nice things to say about his older, unnominated co-star, Bruce Willis.
He just works so hard. He doesn't just sort of relax on any movies. He works really hard. He really makes sure that everything is just perfect. He really wants the project to be good. So I was really surprised at how hard he worked, and it paid off. You can see how hard he worked in the movie.
Tom Cruise took a huge pay cut and a small role in Magnolia, for no other reason, some said, than to get himself a Best Supporting Actor nomination. It worked. Rounding out the category, British actor Jude Law for The Talented Mr. Ripley.
A lot of us are actors because, you know, there's a challenge, it's a psychological journey, but it's also a lot of fun, you know, and doing big fights and dressing up in costume, yeah, it's good fun. What was funny was I did this one performance, this guy's phone rang and he answered it. He picked it up and was sat there chatting away, and we all stopped and were like, you know, should we just tell us when you finished? Unbelievable.
And the gentle giant Michael Clarke Duncan in Best Picture nominee, The Green Mile. Tom Hanks was pinning his hopes for a third Oscar on The Green Mile, but his chances were regarded as slim, actually slim and bearded. Besides Kevin Spacey, the Best Actor nominees were Madonna's ex-husband Sean Penn for Sweet and Lowdown, 79-year-old Richard Farnsworth for The Straight Story, Russell Crowe, who put on 40 pounds for his role in The Insider, and Denzel Washington, who took off nearly that much weight and trained as a boxer for a year and a half to star in The Hurricane.
It gave me a lot of confidence. You know, I don't know if I was a guy who was cocky, who became a boxer, or boxing made me more cocky. The bottom line was nobody was really trying to hurt me. That's the best way to become a boxer. You know, it's you know, I remember one guy saying to me, we were talking a bunch of stuff, and, you know, men talk, and the lies start growing, but this guy was a pro. And he said, let me tell you something, Denzel, when you try to take food off my children's table, then you're talking about something completely different, you know, and I was like, oh.
Early on, Denzel was seen as the front runner for Best Actor, but his chances diminished rapidly due to a nasty controversy over just how accurate the film was. No such concern was voiced about another true story, Boys Don't Cry, in which Hilary Swank played a girl pretending to be a boy. On Oscar night, though, there was no gender confusion when the lovely Ms. Swank showed up on the arm of her husband, actor Chad Lowe. In addition to an expectant Annette Bening, Swank's competition for Best Actress consisted of Janet McTeer for Tumbleweeds, Julianne Moore for The End of the Affair, and Meryl Streep, whose Music of the Heart earned her an historic 12th nomination, tying her with Katharine Hepburn as the most nominated actress in Oscar history. All the supporting actress competitors were first-time nominees. Chloe Sevigny for Boys Don't Cry, Samantha Morton in Sweet and Lowdown, Catherine Keener for Being John Malkovich, Toni Collette in The Sixth Sense, and Angelina Jolie for Girl Interrupted. Jolie's father is Oscar-winning actor Jon Voight, but it was her relationship with her brother that had Hollywood talking and cringing. When one of the first envelopes of the evening was opened and Jolie was declared winner of the Best Supporting Actress Oscar, she reacted by turning to her brother and kissing him on the lips.
I really didn't expect it. I just hid in my brother's arm, and I think in both of our minds, we both just were like, oh my God, it's all of our lives. I think we grew up in this business, and Dad has an Oscar, and it's like the big thing you try to attain to as an actor, to do a performance that's really acknowledged and means something, and so it's kind of, it's always been a big deal to us, this show. We've always watched it, and so we both were sitting there, and I think we were both, for the first whole section, just sitting there going, can you believe we're here? And they let us in.
Next, Tom Cruise's dreams of a supporting actor Oscar were shattered, but he didn't get much sympathy after it was revealed his paychecks for Mission Impossible and the upcoming Mission Impossible 2 would total well over $100 million. The award instead went to Michael Caine.
I thought that this category was full of every single person in this category could have won and was brilliant. And so I didn't feel that there was any real winner, including myself, obviously. And I mean, I was just there to collect it for all of us, and just as I'm a survivor. That's what it is. That's what they gave it to me for. I'm still here after all these years.
The Best Actor award was given to Kevin Spacey for American Beauty, although he still had a difficult time believing it at the press conference afterwards.
I was pretty stunned. This film means an enormous amount to me. This is the highest honor that an actor can receive from this industry, and Hillary was saying she forgot to thank Chad, and Sam forgot to thank his mother, and I forgot my entire speech. So I was stunned. I was really stunned.
Spacey's co-star Annette Bening seemed visibly surprised when the Best Actress envelope was opened and her name was not in it. Considerably more surprised was the winner, Hilary Swank, who became so unnerved that she forgot to thank her husband, Chad Lowe, during her speech.
First of all, I have to say something that I didn't say when I was up there, and as you can all imagine, it's very surreal up there. I have got to thank my husband, Chad Lowe, and I'm doing it right here, because without him, I could have never have made it through this experience. So, thank you, honey. You're my everything.
Annette Bening may not have gone home with her own Oscar, but she did go home with an Oscar winner, husband Warren Beatty, who was honored with a special award.
Well, you know, I've been to an awful lot of these, and I look at it as an expression of a community. And I don't quite look at it as some sort of competitive horse race. I think once a year, the people in the community get together, and and let's face it, in show business, we know how to do these things. So there's an awful lot of attention directed toward the competitive aspect of it. You know, I've lost 13 of these.
Finally, the night's biggest award, Best Picture, and the winner was American Beauty. The cast and crew, not to mention a few hundred reporters, celebrated late into the night at the exclusive Hollywood restaurant Spago.
Oh, wow. Well, I better get out of here. The boss is here.
Steven Spielberg was thrilled that his DreamWorks studio had avenged last year's loss, and he made no apologies for it.
I'm happy for everybody. We're happy for, you know, the director and the writer and the actors and everyone. But I think it also shows the expanding tastes and the idea that you don't have to necessarily make a crossover film to cross over. And I just think that this film appealed to a lot of people. It was controversial in many other regards. But I'm just honored that the Academy recognized, you know, the merits of the story.
Yeah, I think everybody kind of got the message. It was just really about living life and how life will take you.
We are going to celebrate with our extraordinary colleagues, and then we're going to go on and, you know, party till we drop.
Make the movie.